All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rise Zion. Thank you for joining us in the evening. Hi, Dustwave. Dustwave's already joined us. We're here. We're back to our painting. We're in the process of creating our Captain Moroni painting. We're in the process of adding our whites and getting our highlights in. Before we get started on this, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Like and comment to this particular live stream. We do these live streams in the evening so that we have an opportunity to monetize different things so that we can support the channel in ethical ways so that our money-making content is not mixed with our gospel content. We don't want to lock behind a paywall any of the important things that we share during the day. So in the evening, that's why we do these things that aren't so important and they're just for fun, basically. But yeah, as some of you might know, the website is now live, so visit the website at risezion.org. You can buy prints of our previous artwork. You can buy the original artwork. There is only one of the original artwork, but you can buy prints of it as well for much less cost if you're interested. All of the paintings will be available for sale that we do here in the evenings. Oh yes, we're having a great evening. Last night, I was not able to do a live stream because we were busy trying to fix our drive for the channel, and it was something that was unavoidable. We had to do it, so I didn't have time to do a live stream last night after dinner. I had ramen, but still, did not have enough time. So yeah, we're gonna continue working on our painting today, you guys. And again, the music is for sale as well. This live stream music is brought to you by none other than Dustwave himself. You can buy this music on our website, and we split the cost, or we share the proceeds of that, so you can help support Dustwave's music as he's creating this different music for our channel. I believe he's in the process of creating new tracks for us to experiment with as well. So that kind of is fun. And all of the music will be available for sale. We're working with other artists as well. And just giving everybody the opportunity to kind of contribute to the channel in different ways. But yeah, if you guys want to, you can chat with me this evening. We can talk about different things that you guys want to talk about. We had a really fascinating episode today. Some new research that I have just discovered from Thoughtful Faith, actually, the channel Thoughtful Faith. They presented on this. But apparently this research has been around since 2010, and I have never heard of it. So it's been around for like more than a decade. And it's so remarkable to me how these things like pop up, and they're so important, and I have never heard of these things. So, yeah, it's really interesting. But yeah, we talked about how the Egyptian Kirtland papers are in fact what appear to be a cipher meant to be able to encode the revelations of Joseph Smith, like found in Doctrine and Covenants, for example. And they used the Book of Abraham in order to create this document. They're trying to like retroactively create a code and also a more pure language, which they liken to Egyptian, right? Because they viewed Egyptian as being similar to the pure Adamic language. Adamic, is that correct? But in any case, they wanted to create a language that would be encoded, but also it would be more pure. And that would prevent enemies of the church from getting their hands on the revelations of Joseph Smith and from tampering with them and changing them, as Joseph Smith was often in prison and just doing different things, traveling a lot of the times. They also use secret code names for one another too, which is something that I had already known about, but which was brought up in some of the research that I was doing as I prepared for that episode. But yeah, Joseph Smith was known as Gazelem. Truth 101 has just showed up. So yeah, the the price per an original painting differs just depending on how long we take. So you can go on the website, you can check out the price if you'd like to for the original painting that we did last time, which was Jesus and Mary at the tomb. That one took about 3 months to complete. So we started it back at it was about 2 months really. So it will be priced accordingly. But the prints are going to be consistently priced at about $50 per print. The prints are 17 inches by 22 inches, so that's poster size, very large. I still haven't had time to create that poster for you. We need to do our raffle, you guys, for you guys who are members of the channel. Members have special privileges, so we're going to have discounts for you, and we're going to have, for level 2 anyway, level 2 members get discounts on the website. And in addition to that, you're all entered to win a free print of my artwork. We just have to, but make sure to pay attention because I'm going to announce winnings, right? And so you have to contact me and tell me where to ship your free poster. So you have to provide evidence also that you are who you say you are. So just heads up on that. Yeah, Stephanie has joined us. Hi, Stephanie. Yes, let's come over here so you guys can see what's going on. Oh, my phone is crooked. We need to make it so you can actually see what's going on, you guys. The ghostly form of Captain Moroni is emerging from the canvas as we're drawing our highlights. His foot is a little odd over here. I'm probably going to change that. I just thought that was kind of fun to do, but yeah, we'll change that probably. But yeah, we got to get some of our... oh, I also forgot my phone, you guys. I need my other phone so that I can look at my reference material and see what colors I'm using and the form. Thanks to your own vision, right? Reference material. They all use reference material. We all ought to follow their example and use reference material as well. I have to turn on my phone. Oh, it looks like we have somebody from Brazil who's joined us, R.A. Schirer. I think parabéns means good, bens means like good. Or like for good. Well, I'm glad you've joined us. I can't read Portuguese very well. I'm more acquainted with Spanish. So, but yeah, I appreciate all of you guys being here in the chat. You guys ask me questions if you'd like to, and we can talk about different topics, gospel-related topics if you'd like. And we can just have a fun time this evening. We'll be ending around 9:30 this evening. Won't be going for too long. Yeah. Gonna have a good time. All right, here's my paintbrush now. I've lost my paintbrush. Ah. Okay, so we are gonna add some metallic overtones. To our armor because we're gonna have to start adding details, and it gets kind of hard to add the details when we don't have a different color to contrast with. So if we don't have contrast, then we can't. If we're just using pure white, then all the lines and all the decorations that we're adding gets kind of lost in the white, right? So by adding just a little bit of color, we're just using burnt umber on this. I'm just gonna make sure we get all our forms correct, and then we're gonna come in and add additional details as well. It's probably a little bit too much oil. Let me know if you want me to zoom in so you guys can see better. Have you looking at the entire thing? You might want to come in and see all the details. Let me know if you guys want to see that. Just a little closer. Maybe I should just do that. There's nothing stopping me from just moving the camera up right here so you can see what's going on. I'll just move that down to the kneecap area. You can see his legs and his armor. Okay. Adding his gold color. Just using our yellow ochre color, not burnt umber. Yeah, I've decided that I wanted his armor to be sort of bronze. I need to order some more ochre yellow color. We're running out of ochre yellow. I should probably use a bigger brush too, to be honest, because this is kind of a tiny brush compared to the armor that we're drawing right now for painting. Oh, pardon. If you guys can't hear, let me know as well. Okay. Oh, I was going to change brushes. Forgot. Let's do our square brush too. We're going to use square flat brush. That's probably maybe a little bit too big. Yeah, I hope that everybody's having a good evening this evening. Hopefully, yeah, it's probably a little too big. All right, well, we'll just continue using our little brush. I guess that we can be more careful with the little brush anyway. If we're careful, then we can preserve some of these lines that we put down. What I should do is I'm going to get some... Let's see if I can squeeze out the last drops of this burnt umber color of ours. I just love burnt umber because it's not black, but it is dark enough that it definitely translates into shadows very well. I don't have very much left of it at all. Our little tube is completely depleted. You can see. Oh, Captain Scotty has joined us. Hi, Captain Scotty. How are you? Denise has joined us, or Denise, sorry, 26. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. But yeah, we were, I was just talking about the Egyptian Kirtland papers and this new evidence about how Joseph Smith, well, it was W.W. Phelps who was trying to create a code. And it is really important that we know these things, because I was actually kind of disappointed that nobody was really talking about, for Come Follow Me, the fact that we are called to defend the church and the faith. Not necessarily the church, but yeah, the church is a part of it. But we're called upon to defend our beliefs in Doctrine and Covenants 71, and we have a divine mandate to do that, actually. And I'm really kind of a little disappointed that that was not really brought up in Come Follow Me. I don't know how it was for you guys. Did anybody bring that up in your discussions? Well, that's okay. We have the opportunity to talk about it here on the channel. I'm glad that we have the opportunity to discuss things like that together. Yeah, Bob, I saw your comment the other day about that. That's an interesting idea, to take an average of different faces. Male and female both. What's really interesting is that what you'd probably get if you didn't manage to average, you probably get a very generic face that would not be recognizable in a crowd. So you wouldn't be able to remember this person. You wouldn't be able to recall their face after they had left you. And the reason for that is because individuals are recognized only by their features that stand out. And so when you are a portrait artist, for example, like I did take a class of portrait drawing and portraits of people's faces. And what really sets people apart is their minute differences, especially around their eyes, around their mouth and their nose. But if somebody were to average out all of those differences and to make the most generic face, it would be very hard to remember that person. You'd have the perfect spy, because nobody would be able to recognize them in a crowd. They would have no distinguishing features. That's kind of creepy to think about, actually. You guys have been listening to The Way of Kings. I finished The Way of Kings last weekend, the first book in the Stormlight Archives. That has been quite, it's been a daunting task to think about listening to all of those books, but I have to do it because my friends say that I have to. And no, I want to as well, because he just barely finished 2 other books, and I haven't listened to those at all, and so I have to remind myself what's going on in this series before I start listening to those. So yeah, that is quite the shocking first book. I love that book series. I love that series so much, and it's so good. I love the way that Brandon Sanderson writes. He is a member of the church as well, I believe, although he never explicitly talks about his faith. I don't believe. He may mention it every once in a while. Oh. Oh yeah, so Bob is saying that perhaps if we, what the face of God might look like. An idea. I think that maybe if we were trying to come to what the face of God looks like, I think that what we might try to do is rely on the Spirit for that, I suppose. It's an interesting idea. I'm not sure. Okay. And hopefully ooh. Here. Let's see, I kind of messed this one up, guys. Go here and straighten that out just a little bit. Okay. We have to create some spheres and stuff. Maybe Captain Moroni has some gems embedded in this armor. That'll be kind of fun to add a little bit of decoration to the armor. Yeah. All right, let's read what we got going on here in the chat. Oh yes, Dustwave says I do listen to those books while I go on my walks in the evening. That is for sure. That is, there's not enough time in the day to do it. So yeah, I do that and then I clean as I'm listening as well. So that's a good thing to do. Yeah, we're adding some color. Becky has joined us. We're adding just a little color. I figure that we gotta add some color now because we have so many details in this armor that we're gonna lose these lines and stuff that exist in the armor unless we add some different colors to distinguish. Because if it's just one color, then we'll start to lose those lines. But yeah, this is gonna help us to help distinguish the lines a little bit. And we can come in and smooth it out too, because okay. Okay. I'm not sure about this here. Hopefully you can see that. Oh, no, you can't see that because the camera's too low. I gotta lift the camera up. Just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Oh yeah, Rob says that the human body is very fascinating. We literally have a frame of metal, as pure calcium is metal. It is a metal. This is true. This is very true. Also, yeah, the body is very, very fascinating in terms of how it's designed, the function. We're going to add just a little bit of shadow here to this fabric. We're just keeping the palette very simple. We don't want to add too many colors at once, right? I'm going to keep it pretty much our ochre yellow, our white, and our red. And that's probably about all the colors that we're going to add to this. But it will be very dynamic. Eventually we'll add just a little bit of blue to get the darker shadows. Okay. All right. Yeah, excellent. I think we might need to readjust some of this armor. We'll come back to that later. I had a design in this. Oh, LDS Musician. Hi, Dustwave. LDS Musician has joined us. How are you? Oh yes, yes. I we were talking about Brandon Sanderson. Yeah. Yes. I do love that series. And he just released his new books, and so I'm trying to get caught up with everything. And that means I have to listen to everything from the beginning to make sure that I know what's going on. And I think Bob might have been asking if I was using crayon. No, this white, the white markings, the drawing is actually done in white Prismacolor. Although I don't see why you couldn't use white crayon just as long as it was sharp enough to get the exact details that you wanted to. And as long as you could paint over it effectively without the crayon affecting your painting. And so you can just paint right over this pencil and it doesn't affect our painting at all. Oh. Oh, you girl has joined us. I'm glad that everybody's doing well. Thank you, LDS musician, for joining us. Awesome music. Bob says, what you have in your handle now? A brush? Yes, this is just a brush. Yeah, just a fine round brush, very small. And it is oil paint, not acrylic. Although we started with acrylic, we did the background in acrylic. Yeah. Yes, yeah. Desway is right. Acrylic paint definitely dries so much faster than oil paint, and oil paint allows us to blend nicely. That's a trick I'm teaching you. If you want to paint a background with acrylic paint and get that dried and out of the way really fast, you can paint right on top of it with oil. You can't do that necessarily. You can't do that the other way around. You can't do an oil background and paint acrylic on top of it, but you can paint acrylic and then put oil on top of it. And that's because oil floats on water, right? You try to paint a water-based paint on top of an oil-based paint, you'll create a nasty mess. Might have some problems. Let's see. Can you see up there? Do I need to change? No, you can see. I need to get some more burnt umber. Open our new package of burnt umber because I bought new paint. So we're at 9:32, you guys. All right, so we gotta end pretty soon. So maybe I won't open up this new tube of paint. All right, let's just scumble for this evening, and then we'll end our live stream for tonight. And you can make sure to ask me any questions that you want to ask me before we close up for this evening. And I'll be using my small scumbling brush from high school. You can see it, there it is, to scumble all these little details here without losing our lines, because I don't want to get that huge scumble brush because that might cause some problems if we blur it too much. We'll just come in here and start scumbling. Make sure to follow the contour of the shapes. So we want to make sure that we get the brush strokes to curve around these objects, not to go straight down or across, but to curve with the shapes. We're just pushing this paint around to fill in the corners of our objects here. But we're just pushing it, up to the line. We're not going to cross the line because we don't want to obliterate our lines just yet. We'll get closer and closer as we add more and more dark values, and then the lines will just gradually disappear on their own. We don't have to cover them up. So we're just pushing it with our scumble brush to the very edge as far as we can. Without crossing that line. Okay. Let's come down here so you can see what's going on down here. All right. Let's scumble these armor pieces down here. Blending some of these tones together, make a more gradual gradient. I gotta blend this down here. This is like fur down here at the bottom of his feet. A unique feature of Moroni armor. I think I'm gonna give Moroni very glorious hair as well. Very amazing, glorious hair. Pushing that paint around still. Scumbling it together. Some quite interesting designs going on down here in this armor. Oh yeah, so Bob says that the armor looks somewhat like the segments in an insect's armor. That could be, if it is inspired by nature, right? We would like the armor to be very much like an arthropod, in that it is able to articulate freely, as warriors need to move quite a lot expressively. Need to be able to move the more segments that armor has, the more you can move, I imagine. All right, we're getting close to closing up this evening, you guys. Do you have any final comments for me before we close out, log out this evening? You can really see the form starting to emerge from the canvas. Add more paint next time. All right. Okay, let's turn down this. We'll gradually fade out the music. There. All right, we're going to close up for this evening, you guys. Before you go, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to smash that like button so that this live stream can be spread to as many people as possible. Make sure to check out our website as well. We have our website up, risezion.org, where you can purchase the artwork, you can purchase prints, you can purchase this music even that you've heard during this live stream this evening. And yeah, just feel free to check it out. Oh, we missed a question. Oh, let's see what we got here. You girl, Becky says, has asked me, where did I learn how to paint? Well, I have been painting for a long time, but I guess officially the answer would be that before I just started painting, well, I mean, after I started just painting, just as myself, I went to school to be an illustrator. So I learned how to illustrate, I learned how to do all the different techniques with paints, including acrylic and watercolor and oil paint and all those different types of paintings. So that's officially where I learned how to paint, although I've been painting for quite a long time. Yes, and we're going to add a sword in one hand. Captain Scotty is asking us, that's for sure. We definitely have to add a sword. I better actually do that before I forget next time. And Landon would like to see the entire painting real fast. We can do that. Let's back up the camera so that you can see the entire painting. We gotta turn on the other camera as well so that you can see what's going on here. Yeah, it's starting to come together, you guys. Look at that. You can really start to see it emerging from the canvas. And that's what I really love the most about painting is that you can see the things start coming out. And well, this method of painting particularly, you just gradually add the shadows and you have a very tight control over what is happening in the canvas, right? Because we've got our drawing all laid out. We have everything planned out beforehand. Now we're just adding our lights and our darks. We're gradually adding color, gradually making this pop out from the canvas. Did I miss anybody else's questions, you guys? Let's see what's going on here. Nearly 15. Okay, well, I think that's it. I think that's everyone. All right, let's switch back here. Okay, again, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe before we end. Make sure to check out our website, risezion.org. We are officially live, and you can purchase all of the items there that you see on this live stream in the evening. We painted, the finished painting is now uploaded on the website, so you can purchase prints. You can purchase the painting as well. Yeah, so Bob is saying, I often wonder what kind of a sword, like an onyx studded wood sword. Well, yes, that is the common theory, right? Because what they say is that they could have had swords that were made out of wood and obsidian. However, I feel that eventually we will discover that they had metal swords. If we can never find the artifacts, because it's probably rusted by this point. But I'm convinced that what Joseph Smith said was pretty much what he meant. They had metal swords, they had metal armor. Well, maybe not metal armor. I don't know. I don't know if they actually specify if they had metal armor, but he did say swords. And it was based after the swords of Laban, and Laban's sword was made out of the most precious steel, right? So I'm assuming still swords. That's what I'm assuming. And we're going to create a unique blade. We're going to create a falcata blade, I believe, which gives it a very fun curve. So we're creating a culture here. We have the opportunity as artists to influence an entire generation as to what they think and what they believe. And then later on, when they discover that our assumptions as artists were not correct, they will leave the church because of our vicious, vicious lies. That's one of my favorite parts of people, like the anti-Mormons who say, like, why do the artists always lie? Why do the artists always have, for example, I don't know, like the illustrations, for example, of Joseph Smith translating the plates, and they don't have him using the seer stone. They have him just looking at the plates, and the plates aren't covered, and there's Oliver Cowdery right there, and he's seeing everything that's going on. And it's funny. It's because, guys, artists create the best image possible. They're not going to have Joseph Smith's head like covered so that you can't see who it is. Okay, and they're not going to have the golden plates covered so you can't tell what's going on in the painting. Likewise, we can just invent stuff too because we're artists. So, but yeah, I appreciate those who take the time to study it out and to try to create something as accurate to history as possible. We don't really know though. So I'm creating a Mesoamerican inspired set of armor that isn't necessarily completely Mesoamerican. So it's inspired by Aztec designs. We're going to be looking at Aztec patterns, as I have here on my phone. Some excellent source material. So you're not going to want to miss it. You're going to want to tune in next time in our live stream in the evening, tomorrow, Thursday evening. Tonight is Wednesday, so Fridays we don't do live streams. But anyway, yes. Yeah, Ontario, except for we're in Mezzo. We're Mezzo. No. But yeah, yeah, indeed. All right, so I think that we're going to end it for tonight, you guys. Thank you guys for sticking around. We'll see you next time. All right, bye.